Just a quick reminder guys, these narrations are best enjoyed with headphones on. Oh, what is everyone's Spark Commander 1992 Founder of Disabled Gaming Reviews here. Now guys, it's a well-known fact when it comes to gaming, especially on PC, modding is awesome. Having the ability to take a game or engine that is used in a game, then customizing the assets of that game to make a version that is truly their own. Now, at the time of posting, I completed a playthrough of Half-Life Alyx. Now this particular title is hailed as the most inaccessible game on the market, as Valve made a rather controversial decision at some point in their development. The game requires a VR headset to play. For a fair portion of the DGR community, the use of VR technology is outright impossible. For example, monocular vision, i.e. blind in one eye, who simply cannot use a VR headset. Seriously guys, the most hyped game in over a decade, and we can't even play it. Sure, upgrading your PC hardware is achievable, less so due to the recent memory shortages, thanks to AI technology. However, a skilled team of developers have been able to create a way to play this game without the need of a VR headset, thus making this game actually playable. To be honest with you, this is something that Valve should have thought about when developing this title. So in recognition of the team responsible for this no VR mod, which is an absolute godsend to the TGR community, I have decided to count down my top 7 PC gaming mods. Now, before we get to the list itself, let's go over the ground rules. Rule number 1, it has to be a PC gaming mod. Modding in general started out on a PC platform, and back in the late 90s certain games are shipped with modding tools which allowed you to create your own map, characters, hell, even entire games themselves. Seriously guys, according to an interview with developers of Unreal Tournament in a documentary, they outright said that certain people who was working in the gaming industry started out in the Unreal modding community. Yes guys, there are a lot of retro games out there which have active ROM hacking scenes. For example, Coronation Day, a creepy Super Mario World tag, but obviously ROM hacking and PC modding are completely different kettles of fish. Now this could be a good topic for a future video on the channel. Rule number 2, the mod has to be still available for download. There are a lot of mods out there, for example, Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered, that were shut down due to age or shut down by the developers due to copyright takedowns. Rule number 3, obviously I have to choose mods which I have both installed and personally played. Rule number 4, 1 entry per engine. Yes guys, we're going by one of the most unwritten law of YouTube, but due to the subject matter of this list, I decided to put my own twist on things. For example, I can't pick Brutal Doom, then use myhouse.wad later on the list, as both these aforementioned mods are built for the original Doom through the GZ Doom source port. Okie dokie guys, with that being said, let's get on to the list itself. Right, to start things off, and at number 7 we've got Tactical Ops Assault on Terror using Unreal Engine 1. At one point, this mod was seen as Counter-Strike's biggest competitor. The mod itself was released at a time when Counter-Strike greased PC gaming in general. And like I've said many times before, one of the biggest golden rules of the gaming industry was when one game or trend is highly successful, both critically and commercially, copycats and clones are sure to follow. The game itself is very similar to Counter-Strike. 2 teams, terrorists and special forces. You buy weapons, ammunition and armor and battle it out on an array of maps. These maps include a recreation of the CIA headquarters, a gang hideout in the Scottish city of Glasgow, a training exercise, or even a private property owned by a terrorist cell. Now if you want to install the mod and try it for yourself, this game is basically abandonware and run standalone, so no copy of Unreal Tournament required. Simply download the game from the TO archive, Set up your path where the EXE for the game is and play the game both online against other players or against AI bots in single player mode. Now guys, the modding community is still active. There is a massive amount of maps, modes and various other things in the TOO archive you can download to expand the game. And the multiplayer scene seems to be active. The reason why I didn't choose Counter-Strike is for sheer nostalgia value. Seriously guys, if I didn't discover Tactical Ops, I would never have came across the legendary Unreal Tournament, which has seen me through both the best and worst times. Battling its way to number 6, it's Command & Conquer or CNC Reloaded using Red Alert 2's engine. In the RTS subgenre in the early 2000s, there are two big names that really stand out from the crowd. Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun, released in 1999, and Red Alert 2, released in the year 2000. Now the modding scene for Red Alert 2 has been through a resurgence in recent years. Examples of these mods are Mental Omega, the fan-made expansion to Yuri's Revenge, and Ride to the East, which adds various factions including China and the GLA from the general universe to Red Alert 2. Now this mod combines the Tiberian Sun and Red Alert 2 content all in one package. Full campaigns of the base games and their expansions are available to play. What really makes this stand out from the crowd is the dialogue in cutscenes and in missions are fully subtitled. So you can play as the GDI, the Brotherhood of Nod, Cain Lives in Death, the Allies and the Soviet Union are all available to play in multiplayer matches against other players or skirmish matches against the AI. Now to install the mod for yourself, you need to buy Command & Conquer The Ultimate Collection from either Steam or the EA app. Seriously guys, this is under a tenner. You then download the installer from ModDB, then you point where the mod installer to where on your computer Red Alert 2 and Yuri's Revenge is installed. Let the installer work its magic. Done! Multiplayer for this mod, along with other mods for Red Alert 2, for example Mental Omega as I mentioned earlier, is available through the game's launcher thanks to CNC.net. Coming in at number 5 is StarCraft Mass Recall, using StarCraft 2's engine. Now the modding capability of all Blizzard Entertainment's games since Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos is unparalleled. For example, the grandfather of the multiplayer online battle arena, that's MOBA to you and me, subgenre Defense of the Ancients or Dota, started out as nothing more than a mod that uses Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos' expansion Frozen Throne. Obviously later on and down the life cycle, Dota was released as a standalone product. Seriously ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't for Dota, there would be no League of Legends, Valorant, the recently released fighting game 2XKO, because Riot Games would never be a thing. So anyway, back to StarCraft. The mod itself is a recreation of the campaigns of the original StarCraft and expansion Brood War is in StarCraft 2's engine. Now I've been streaming playthroughs of this mod live on Twitch. The mod itself allows to give you a more cinematic feel when experiencing the campaigns through this mod. The mod itself allows you to give you a more cinematic feel when experiencing all the campaigns through this mod, due to the features that the engine itself has. On top of that, you can experience the campaign at higher frame rates, better graphics and various other upgrades. In my honest opinion, this is the best way to experience StarCraft 1's and Brood War's campaigns. Now guys, be warned, this is the most complex install process than any other mod on this list, which is around 90% of the reason I placed this at number 5. Firstly, go to the Battle.net website to download the Chrome client and log into your account. If you have one, create one. Then install StarCraft 2. And by the way guys, it's completely free. Even better guys, if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you can access all of StarCraft 2's campaigns. Then install the mod itself. I have left links to the mod itself and a tutorial video on how to install in the video's description. If you're looking to get into StarCraft, playing this campaign through this mod is probably the best way to start. And at number 4, we have Fallout London, using Fallout 4's engine. Now, I have posted a review of Fallout London back in Guy Fawkes Night 2024, with a little bit of help from you 9. You're welcome. So, this mod brought me back into the Fallout franchise. It feels like a new Fallout game or expansion by Bethesda themselves. It feels somewhat surreal walking around the streets of post-apocalyptic London and see various landmarks, for example, Tower Bridge, the Shard. Wait a minute, did someone say Shard? No, 9, as in the Shard. You know, the biggest building in Europe. Oh, sorry. The various factions that are present in this mod is unique. For example, the Vagabonds, to the fascist pamphleteers of the Fifth Column, to the Camelot Knights of Days Past, to the corrupt government of the Gentry. The reason why the mod is at 4 is the amount of polish the mod has, and also it was an absolute pillar of support for me from the summer 2024, which was the run-up to my family member's first knee surgery. Now, the easiest way to install this mod is to perform a claim install Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition, then install it on GOG, then install Fallout London again through GOG, let the installer work its magic, done. Just remember to launch the mod through the Fallout London's launcher again from GOG. That way, all the other required mods runs in parallel. That way, so you don't have to. If you own the game on Steam, the install is a little more complex. Install Fallout 4 on Steam as usual, then you download and run the Downgradr tool on Nexus Mod. If you go to the Fallout London website, there's a link to the Downgradr itself, then install Fallout London from GOG, let the installer work its magic as before. Again, just remember to launch Fallout London through the launcher, that way all the bells and whistles runs in parallel with the mod itself. And at 3 we've got myhouse.wad using the Doom engine, or the enhanced version of the Doom engine using the GZ Doom source port. Now, as I have said in my previous review of Doom the Dark Ages, the modding scene for the original Doom trilogy is one of the most active modding communities around. Now, this might be a single map modification, but it's a scene as an absolute masterpiece of Doom modding in general. The map itself uses silent teleporters to move the player around the various sectors of the map. The map's author's Veg finished off a recreation of his now deceased friend and released it to the Doom World forums in his name. When you start playing the map, nothing is out of the ordinary. You go to the house gunning down the enemies that lurks down the house. Your goal is to collect the keys hidden in said house. Then you are attracted by a soul sphere located in the back gardens of the house. This is of course a trap for the player. Now, as you go out of the house to retrieve it, you trigger a silent teleporter into another version of the house. You then go into the house a second time to perform yet another exorcism of the house. Then the real mod starts. To trigger the good ending, your objective is to scour your way through the various sectors of the map containing 16 relics. These relics vary from Pepsi cans, Christmas baubles, milkshakes, and of course, Pumpkin Rick. Now, the sheer scale of the map is extensive. I have discovered this mod in 2024, and I still am discovering locations I have yet to encounter. Now, every Friday evening before I leave to my local pub's karaoke night, I attempt to play through this mod to get to the good ending. Now, it is embedded into my pre-karaoke routine, as it were. Now, the mod uses lots of liminal spaces, for example the Brutalist house, to really draw in and frighten its players. The more accurate way I would describe to playing through this mod is trippy. Very, very trippy. There is also a YouTube video done by David Develops Doom, which shows what happens under the hood and the ingenious methods the author uses to frighten and exasperate its players. Now, the mod itself is based on David Nielsen's book, House of Leaves. Now, to install the mod and try for yourself, first purchase Doom and Doom 2 off GOG or Steam. If you already have the original version of Doom in your library, you should be able to have it completely free of charge. Then download the GZ Doom source port. Now, playing Doom through the GZ Doom source port is probably the best way to play the original games. It has various graphical and performance enhancements, and it has by far the best mod support than any other way of playing Doom. Then go to the myhouse.word page in the Doom World forums, which contains a link to a Google Drive. Now, this Google Drive contains a journal, a PK3 version of the mod, and then the WOD version of this mod. Then drag the content of this folder along with the WOD from the commercial version of Doom and Doom 2 that you probably have bought from Steam or GOG. Then it's done. To run the game, simply drag the PK3 version on top of the EXE of GZ Doom, then pick Doom 2, then the mod should be running without a hitch. In it 2, we have Half-Life 2 alone. So, you have completed Half-Life 2 and the episodic content. Now, play it again when you're literally the last being on Earth. No Combine, no citizens, no aliens, nothing. Just you, your arsenal, and nothing else. In its current state of the mod, the entirety of the base game, Episode 1 and Episode 2, the Lost Coast chapter, and a few deserted test chambers from Portal are playable in this mod. So when you're playing through the initial chapters of the base game, i.e. when you're going to the Combine Control City 17, the feeling is somewhat surreal. Usually the setting functions like a well-oiled machine. Using humanity to slavery is replaced with nothing but dead silence. The darkening effect which is present in this mod adds to the feeling of being alone. There is also added effects which can be activated and deactivated. For example, you can add a rain effect to always on or intervals using adults, which also adds distant thunder sounds, which also really adds to the experience of this mod. That actually accurately represents on how a person feels when he or she is going through the anxiety or depression. The entire world is functioning around you, but you feel as though that you're totally on your own, so you blot them out. There are actually quite a few YouTubers covering the mod, which described it as scary and spooky, for example Radiation Hazard. But I completely disagree with this experience. For people such as us who find comfort in solitude, it is quite therapeutic. It's a case in point when you're playing through the Highway 17 chapters, which used to be a high action, high octane portion of the game as you battle your way through masses of ant lines and squads of Combine soldiers as you basically play the forest lava. But when you play through this mod, it's just you, your scout car, and the seaside ambience, which I actually find quite serene. The soundtrack that accompanies this mod is mostly slowed versions and reverse versions from Portal and Half-Life 2. For example, as you walk up the train, from the very beginning of the game, the track Self-Esteem Fund is playing from Portal. This adds to the feeling of being isolated. I even copy the entire soundtrack of the mod to my phone, and I actively listen to it when I'm going out on walks with my golden retriever Rosie, or just me, myself and I. Even when times are tough, I find nothing but comfort when playing this mod, or listen to its soundtrack. It gets a whole new perspective when I play through one of my favourite games of all time. When I play through the mod, I'm feeling as though that every map is my sandbox. And using the music menu, which is activated using pressing the X key, allows me to build a game soundtrack which is truly my own. I mean, I've even used a track or two of this mod in a recent channel updates. Right, before we get into number 1, let's go over the picks so far. So in at number 7, we've got Counter-Strike in Unreal Engine's clothing with Tactical Ops Assault on Terror. And then number 6, we've got Tiberian Sun and Red Alert 2 in one package with Command & Conquer Reloaded. And then at number 5, we've got the best way to experience a StarCraft 1's campaign, and that's in StarCraft 2's engine with StarCraft Mass Recall. And then number 4, we have got, while the location might be changed, War. or never changes with Fallout London. And at number 3 we have got the absolute masterpiece of Doom modding, that is myhouse.wad by Veg. And lastly, and at 2 we've got Half-Life 2, but you're literally the last man on earth with Half-Life 2 alone. Taking top spots of my favourite PC gaming mod is the HL mod for the PC port of Final Fantasy VII. Now Final Fantasy VII is an absolute masterpiece in its own right. Recently the remake of this classic hit Xbox and recently turned 29 years old. Seriously, if a person is born in the same year as Final Fantasy VII, they would have the legal right to drink alcohol here in the UK, get married and drive an automobile or car over here in the UK. What this mod does, it adds voice acting to every single line of dialogue in the game. It adds a more cinematic experience when you're playing this classic. So if you're sick and tired of the remake and would prefer to play the classic version with voice acting, the HL should fit the bill. Now I've said time and time again, the original Final Fantasy VII holds a lot of sentimental value. I do remember watching my brother playing this classic on my family's PS2 console on the evening of the 6th of August 2004. I find the HL to be a lifeline when I enjoy this classic. Now at data scripting, Square Enix has been announcing that a new version of the PC port of Final Fantasy VII is due to be released. Obviously the details of the changes of this new version is a bit vague, so it is reasonably safe to assume that the classic version of Final Fantasy VII is probably the easiest version to mod. Obviously I could be wrong. Now to install the mod for yourself, you have to purchase Final Fantasy VII on the Steam store before the developer delists it from the Steam store. Then download the 7th Heaven mod manager by Tsuna Mods. This little program features a plethora of mods for you to install. Click on Browse Mod, then use the function to find HL 7, then let the mod manager download to install it. Done! Just like that. Just remember to launch Final Fantasy VII through the 7th Heaven mod manager to ensure that this mod and many other mods you've installed is working correctly each and every time you launch it. And there you have it folks, my top 7 PC gaming mods. Once again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the G3 mod team for the Half-Life Alyx No VR mod, which allows myself and other fellow members of the GGR community to play through Half-Life Alyx. So, this is Spartan Commander 1980 Chief Editor of Disable Gaming Reviews here signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next review.